Now we'll discuss advantages and disadvantages of size exclusion principle. And firstly, we'll discuss advantages of size exclusion chromatography one by one. Firstly, there is a requirement of small amount of sample which we can process and which we can use to separate components of a mixture. Similarly, this size exclusion chromatography that preserves the biological activity of the particles to be separated. बहुत हार्श ट्रीटमेंट नहीं होती, बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग, बहुत ज़्यादा pH के ऊपर, बहुत ज़्यादा एसिडिटी के ऊपर या बहुत ज़्यादा टेम्परेचर के ऊपर सेपरेशन चूँकि ये नहीं होती है, so that's why it is preserve the biological activity of the particles or of the components of a mixture which are separated. So that is preferred. There are other techniques which are very stringent by which molecules are separated from each other but with at high temperature or with more acid condition or with more basic conditions. तो उनके मुकाबले में क्योंकि यहाँ माइल्ड कंडीशन यूज होती हैं तो अकॉर्डिंगली जो बायोलॉजिकल एक्टिविटी होती है उसको प्रिजर्व किया जाता है. This technique that provides efficient and fast separation process, we have already discussed. We need less time, we need of course mild conditions, तो उससे हमें एक efficient resolution separation मिलती है. This technique, when it is combined with other techniques for characteristics like acidity, basicity, charge, and affinity for certain compounds, then it gives better information and better results. There is also no sample loss as solute, they do not interact with the stationary phase. Normally, जो हमारा solute होता है, जो हमारा sample होता है, उस stationary phase के साथ react नहीं करता, तो there is no loss of sample during the process. It is also possible to determine the molecular weight of a compound, and especially when it is combined with other techniques like DLS, we have discussed already, or even MS. Shape and size of the compound determine how will it interact with or how will it behave with the stationary phase. ज़ाहिर है उनका जो साइज होगा, जो शेप होगी, उसके अकॉर्डिंगली ये स्टेशनरी फेज के साथ ये बिहेव करते हैं, इंटरेक्ट करते हैं. Small amount of mobile phase is required for the separation. There is no requirement of large amount of the mobile phase which flows through the column. So this is one of the advantage. Flow rate can be manipulated as per need of the process and experiment through which the components of mixture are separated. We have already discussed that medium flow rate is preferred or moderate flow rate is preferred. Narrow bands and good sensitivity are another advantages. Now, disadvantages of size exclusion chromatography. There is interaction. There may be interaction between stationary phase and the analyte, which may lead to later elution time, and this result in interference with the analysis. Normally, there is no interaction of the analyte with the stationary phase, but it may take place, and if it takes place, then there may be interference with the analysis. Sample should be filtered so that debris may not interfere with the results. ज़ाहिर है जो हम sample run करते हैं, first of all, we need to filter it. The reason is there may be particles, there may be dust particles, there may be some other debris present in the sample, and these debris or impurities present in the sample, they may choke the pore size of the beads or the distances or the spaces between the beads, and in this way they affect separation of components of a mixture. And a limited number of bands they are obtained because the time scale of the chromatogram is short. We have discussed that we need small time, less time. So that is why we may have a limited number of bands, of course, which is also one of the disadvantage. Bands may also overlap with each other. By this way, resolution may be affected, and sample is usually diluted during the process. Sample is separated when it is mixed with the mobile phase, so accordingly it may be diluted. So these are the disadvantages. We have already discussed advantages. All in all, this SEC is quite effective technique for separation of components of a mixture.